Hi, I'm Father Milton. I'm the pastor of Holy Trinity in Dallas, Texas, and I had the great privilege yesterday of going to St. Louis to attend the opening of our formation house in St. Louis. And the reason I wanted to make a video of it is about my experience of it was because it was so moving for me. First of all, we had an unbelievable showing of people who collaborate with us throughout the Diocese of St. Louis and across the country, who came to celebrate with us the opening of this formation house. We had three bishops, the Archbishop of St. Louis, the Bishop of Belleville, and the Auxiliary Bishop of St. Louis in attendance. They presided, and as well as the Provincial of the Jesuit Order, the Provincial of the Franciscan Order, and the Provincial of the Dominican Order, along with about 40 Dominican seminarians, and we had Franciscans everywhere. It was just, so I'm looking around thinking, I hope somebody's making a video of this. You know, I don't want to lose what's happening here. The liturgy was extraordinary. The Dominicans did this beautiful, beautiful thing for us, all a cappella after communion. We had this great choir from our parish in St. Louis, St. Vincent de Paul Parish. They've been together as a choir for a long time, and they're like totally Vincentian. They just like hold us to accountability. They're awesome, awesome people. So they're providing the music, which was extraordinary. The bishop at one point, the Archbishop of St. Louis, said, you know, I want to give thanks to Father Pat McDevitt because this is as close to an ecumenical council as any of us is ever going to get, you know, because of the numbers of religious and people who support us as Vincentians were in this space for us. It was on the front lawn of the Dominican Priory in St. Louis, and the weather, get this, August, perfect, 70 degrees. Wow. You know, and of course in Dallas today it was 110. It was just this incredible thing. And I wanted to talk about Father Pat McDevitt and the role that he's played in leading us to this point, that we have a formation house. Because you think, well, formation house, who's coming, you know? Who's going to be in this formation house? When we recruit people for the Vincentian community, you know, the first question anybody is going to ask is, where would I live? What would that be like? Who's paying the insurance? How do I, you know, all these practical questions, and not the least of which is, do I have a roof over my head? And where will that be? What will it look like? Who's in the house? How is that what's it going to look like? And because of Father Pat's vision and leadership in this project, we have right now 2 seminarians that are going to be living in this formation house. And you think, just 2? Hey, you know, Jesus started out with 12, okay? So we're gonna be fine. We have a house now to encourage our young people who are thinking about being a priest, to be with others who are on the same path. So they have a cohort now, even with these other religious communities that have a totally different charism than the Vincentian community. They have a cohort, people that they can talk to. Because when I was in the seminary, you know, when we were meeting with the priests, evaluations and all that, we want to give them our best stuff, you know. So we're talking to the priest and, well, here's my strengths and this is what I did well. And we want to make sure that they're not going, I don't think we're going to ordain you. But we had these candid conversations with our cohorts in the seminary. Yes, now let me tell you some of my weaknesses. And we shared those readily with our brothers in formation, because we were all on the same path. And we all knew that we fell short of, in many ways, of the calling that we believe God was, you know, preparing us for. So the importance of a cohort, now we have this. So right now, while we only have 2, they are extraordinary men, and they are going to make an extraordinary difference, not just the house there in St. Louis, in the formation house, but they're making an impact on us as Vincentians. Because think of it, you know, where's our progeny? You know, who's following after us? Who wants to do what we've done with our lives? Who's going to even listen to the stories that we have to, because we have a lot of stories. The ministry, we're passing the torch to the next generation of leaders. And how do we do that in a way that reflects our Vincentian spirit, that keeps us alive and vital? My goal, I've been a Vincentian priest for 32 years. Made my vows in 1986, so I don't know how many years ago that was. So I've been around a while, and so I'm 69 years old. I do not want to die before I'm dead. I'm not doing that. And so when we start talking about, standing around a hole in the ground, singing Salve Regina, that's what it can feel like, because we're a lot of older people in the community. I don't want to have that be our only focus, standing around a hole in the ground singing Salve Regina, which is what we do at our funerals when we croak. And there's so much life and so much excitement about this project. To hear the Archbishop of St. Louis, speak to us as if he himself were a Vincentian, and how delighted he is to support us in any of the works that we're taking on in not just the diocese, but in the whole church, and just the excitement in that space. There weren't enough people there, I think, Vincentians present, to, I think, get that feel for what's happening just because we opened this new house. This new house is offering us hope. And I felt like yesterday that I was witnessing a new birth of something in the community. And I didn't want to miss any opportunity to talk about how important that is to me as a 69-year-old priest of 32 years. I have a torch. I want to pass it, and there's somebody there to take the torch.